It be time for DJ Sterf.
Hey, what's up everyone? DJ Sterf here. It's time for Chapter 7 of this extended walkthrough of Ruin. And let's play it. This chapter has a whole lot of material, so I will be going through fairly expediently, but in a detailed manner. But there is a whole lot to this chapter. Not all chapters are created equal in this game. There are just some chapters that are very short, some that have a whole lot of significance and possible secrets and that type of thing. So this is a big one. And I guess rightly so, because this is the Bonnie Bowl area. It used to be that when you started from Chapter 7 via a continue or a chapter select, that this gate would be open. And then you could just dive right on down. You would look up through that grating that you came down through, and then it would just do a hard lock. I think it was trying to deload basically everything, but yeah, it was throwing exceptions and crashing the game entirely. Also, once that was fixed, I found that you could jump up here on this corner and then just do the same old thing, dive on down. So that has also been barricaded off. If you find a way back down, let me know. But yeah, that was one area that was a problem for quite a while, but has been remedied quite a bit. You can also look through and see the internals of those lockers. You got Tabitha over here. Wow. Definitely not wanting to be deactivated. But we had to deactivate her. We have a nice table piece here. We don't have any salt and pepper shakers in case there's a snack. We have a roll of toilet paper. Wow. High class. Great. Thanks, Fazbear Entertainment, Inc. Never stop smiling. The customer is always right. We will see... actually, we have seen a much bigger version of this right as we were entering Roxy Raceway Part 1. We see the same old stuff on the bulletin boards, the cork board here. Schedule, import pending, 6 a.m. That's a good time for that. Still the same battery-laden recipe. You notice here, you have a calendar. Unfortunately, it's not super high resolution. It'll be interesting to keep that in mind too, though. You can figure out what possible years these are based on the start of the month, like what day those happen on. So that could be a clue as to what exact year this is in the 2030s, or what possible years they could be. You can jump up here next to the coffee machine. You used to be able to jump over here and then jump up in AR mode through the ceiling, and that caused all sorts of craziness. So fortunately that has been remedied. You have a nice little station here, but when you go into AR mode, wow, big old Glamrock Freddy plush. Like, this would be an ideal plush IMO. Like, this is super cool. I know there's a book bag, but this like large, the huge one, I don't know. Like, I don't know. The one that I have from Dave & Buster's, the normal Freddy, the like huge one that you've seen in other videos, that's just collecting dust in a corner right now. Maybe I'll pull Freddy out at some point just to make other videos or something. But anyway, we have an item box here, gift box, and this is not a comic book page. So check this out. You got a Faz token. Interesting. So let's look at that model right here. Faz token. Old and outdated, a collector's item. Since 1983, I'm pretty sure this is the model used in Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted. So there's a little bit of continuity there. But yeah, a collector's item. We'll see if we can use that at some point here. I guess we see the mission here as well. Deactivate the Bonnie Bowl parent nodes. You're approaching the bowling alley. Yes. Okay, cool. Thanks whoever is mentioning that, whether it's Helpy or someone else, or just Cassie's internal brain. Alright, here. This still has no clip. Man, this was fixed for a while. I don't know what happened to that. There's a little bit of light vertically, and there's some light horizontally, so there's some light leak in some spots around this area. Pretty characteristic for this area, though, so if it was intentional, then there are several spots in this area that have that, but I definitely reported those. This one at least has a plug head on the plug. Some of the plugs are just like jammed into the socket. So if you go to the theater back room, there's one like that, as well as Vanny's hideout / bedroom. Yeah, that one also has one. We'll see that in Chapter 8. Anyway, the point I'm getting at is there's been a lot that has been fixed. There was a lot to fix, and there's still some stuff that should be fixed. But anyway, I think it's turned out pretty well. What do you think? Interesting with the fan as well. You get that slightly green light, and you have the configuration right there. Looks like a broken ear and a normal one, almost like a spring trap type ear setup or whatever, which is kind of neat. All right. Trying to spoil everything and early here. All right, you used to be able to jump back here and back here, and you would fall through the world, and it was pretty easy to do. Now you can just kind of duck through this Swiffer wet jet or whatever it is. I don't know. Yeah, it's not. It's probably just one of the dry ones. I don't know why you would have a wet jet over here with this type of flooring, but yeah. Man, this stuff gets all nasty unless it's action-backed as well. It looks like it's seen better days too. The carpeting or whatever, floor coverings. 100% of fatal accidents involve human beings. Be careful. Yes, you are correct. Construction bot. We have event here. This is very eventful. This area is under 24-hour video surveillance. Not creepy at all. I don't see any cameras around here, so I think you are bluffing over here. But who knows? Maybe they're hidden elsewhere. Shout out to Candid Camera. And now we're going through over here. We're going to reach a hallway with 4 interesting doors and areas, so we'll get to that. It used to be that you could climb up here and then jump through the ceiling, then climb and kind of tightrope walk along the edges of the rooms. That was kind of an interesting set of builds when you could do that, but definitely not what you wanted in the final product. There's still a little bit of clipping here with the cardboard boxes, but it's not, I don't know, I haven't seen anyone complain about that, which, that's cool. I notice it every time, but it's super minor. It's not going to affect your gameplay experience unless you were really playing this game for the cardboard box experience, like the close-up cardboard box experience. I don't know. But anyway, if you haven't shown up for this cardboard box experience, you can enjoy other things, like help you with this tambourine. The 4 jingle tambourine, what is it, the head, the shell, and the jingles. 4 jingle tambourine that Helpy over here is playing. That's kind of neat. What else? These shelving units used to have all sorts of collision issues as well, so I'm glad to see that has been fixed quite a bit. You can still jump up here if you want a little bit, but all right. Here we are. I guess one more thing. This right here, this is what I'm talking about. I mentioned this in the previous video, that some of the areas where like maybe the collision wasn't too clean, or maybe it would be a risk for you flying through a wall. Some of these areas were just kind of boxed off. So this is one example. Like, I wish I could just jump on this just for, you know, just for kicks, but you can't do that as I'm opening and closing the door every, like, second or two. All right, this is an iconic wall. I really think this is a cool wall. You have the 4 portraits, and they're looking pretty good. A little bit of wear to them, but it gives it character. You'd also note that this is Bonnie Bowl, and there's no Bonnie in this mix, which is also interesting. This is the pink lemonade flavor, Fizzy Faz, vending machine tipped over, and as I mentioned before, Chica's Feeding Frenzy, you have that pink soda spray. I'm very, very sure that this is what you're spraying in that. So the pink lemonade flavor, Fizzy Faz, that's one of your weapons, and a very useful one at that, too. Then you got the orange flavor with Freddy. All right, so 4 rooms here. You only can go in with 1 mode. And this is probably going to be everyone's favorite right here. Just hanging out with Plush Baby. Man, don't disappear on me. No. Hey. Just hanging out with Plush Baby. It'd be funny if you stayed in here long enough and just got jump scared by Plush Baby, but that's not the case here. And note that you're also in the real world. I alluded to that in a previous section. But anyway, you turn your back and they're just gone. Note there are also tallies on the wall, and the tallies are always either 2, 4, or 5 in this instance. You can't flip your mask here without really trying to glitch it out, and also you can get soft locked if you end up in the room with the AR mask. There's another way here where you can just fall through the world if you get right on the edge just right, but I've definitely done it. So it used to be that you could just run in, so here, but you'd be like, whee! You flip the mask, and then you'd be in the room, and the door would shut, and you can't get out, because now, in this room, you can't toggle your AR mask, and you're just stuck. This used to have no collision as well, so that was fixed as well. Here. Going into the shoe room. Going with the picky hitbox. with the AR Bonnie mask here. But this used to be able to be a no-clip little vent end here. So that was fixed as well. Lots of stuff was fixed. Still some stuff to go, but a whole lot of work. So props to the teams for getting on there and fixing that. You can still kind of view through this a little bit, just a little bit. See through that. The bowling pin room, you got another pickup here. This is another comic book page, and this is number 1. So it's interesting with this one. You go and see here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 7. So you have 6 and 8 left to go. So in sequence here, because you collected one just now, but you already had something here that says it's one of Gregory's comics, but now comic page 1 says these look like Gregory drew them. So the whole dialogue line of these comic pages, the commentary, is meant to be 1 through 8, but you don't collect them 1 through 8. So anyway, if you did collect them 1 through 8, it looked like this. These look like Gregory drew them. It's one of Gregory's comics. How long was Gregory working on these? Gregory must have seen this mask before. Gregory was always so creative. And then you have a break. We'll get 6 later. Then there's 7. Gregory should be an artist when he grows up. And then we'll have 8 as well. So we will get to that. But it's interesting that that was done out of sequence in terms of the collection, but the commentary was done in sequence. All right. That's a bowling pin room. Looks like these have seen better days, some better than others and all that. The ones underneath, well, I don't know. Maybe a higher proportion. Nah, not really. Are looking clean underneath the guard, but not really. This one looks pretty busted. All right. And we have the box room. You can go boxing in here. Shout out to Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. And now you can't climb this stack anymore. Used to be able to. And this used to be a no-clip vent end as well, so that was eventually fixed. All right. Now we're back at the start. So we're gonna go back through. We're gonna enter Bonnie Bowl. And at this Bonnie Bowl entrance as well, you might notice that there are some bowling balls. You can still do some of the glitchy stuff with the collision and all that. So these can still go through some of the walls and some objects and all that. So you can have fun trying that if you want. So we're just taking this for a ride. Shout out to Marvel versus Capcom. All right, here. Yeah, but these are super fun. I just still think it's funny that they make, like, not a bowling ball sound, but it's more like a dodgeball type sound. They're definitely not going to sound like that if you drop them on the ground. Unless they're made of different material, but you can just, like, ride this out and go crazy. Yeah. Let's see, over here. Come on, come on, come on. Got that spin on it. Come on, come on, come on. Where'd it go? Alright, there it is. So interesting, there's not full continuity of objects still. AR versus normal mode, but that's to be expected. Alright, so now we are going up to the Bonnie Bowl area. However, if you remember from the original game, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am, there was the door here, and there was a bunch of boxes blocking it, and I think there was a doorway here too, but this one in particular, if you did a Freddy, like, jump and enter Freddy's birthday cake compartment, like you jump and hit E on the early patches, it would deload everything around you and all that, but you could also get Freddy right on the edge and then have him pull you in, then you turn around and you're in Vandy's room. This is not Vandy's room right here. So I think this is a slight retcon in terms of design, and I think we've seen a few already. And one commenter in particular as well has noted a few things as well. For example, the catwalks. You know, there are definitely 2 levels to the catwalks, and we are on a higher level than what we were for the boss battle. So we're on a level above where we were in the base game in the catwalks, and I'm, 99.9% sure I'm not misremembering that, but I had one instance where it didn't put me up high enough when I was falling through to the gator gondola on the ride in, and the crash scene happened, and I was in the boss area, but I was standing on like thin air, and it was very, very odd. And it only happened on one build, so I don't know what happened there, but everything was supposed to be, I was supposed to be a level above, but I ended up in the boss area, which is what we had on the base game. So I think I'm not misremembering there, but anyway, let's keep going. You also used to be able to climb on this railing and go through, just like go through this wall, and then you would be behind the level, and then you'd be able to fall through or jump to the AR world without much effort. But anyway, yeah, there were some alterations to the layouts, so it's not one-to-one of what we had in the initial game. I'm quite sure of that. And if I'm mistaken, let me know. So I'm not the best at layouts and remembering that type of stuff. So interesting. They completely cut those off. He used to be able to jump on the railings and kind of ride down those, and not ride down those. You just had to walk down. It wasn't like a slide, but that would have been cool too. One interesting thing too, some of the objects had information that wasn't meant to be taken as canon at all, but the stock objects had something where it would have an address here, and then I reported it right away, like, you probably don't want this unless you actually want this to be lore, because people will take that as canon, it being on a box. Like if the send to address, so not the return address, but where it's being sent to is in a specific location, like geographically, and then it's just sitting there, people are going to be like, oh, so that means that we're in this area, so they put a generic box there. Same thing happened with the fire extinguisher. That used to have a year on it, or a date. I think it was just a year. Maybe it was a date. I think it was a year, though. Anyway, yeah, so now we're in the back hallway of the Bonnie Bowl area, of Bonnie Bowl. You got Paper Pal Bonnie over here. Wash your paws. More. Oh, remember this? Yeah, so 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And then we have 10 vertical slashes. But we saw this in the Roxy Raceway Part 1 office, where the keyboard was with the Helpy OS or whatnot. A lot of reused sticky notes or whatever. So I'm pretty sure these are just generic. I thought it would have been cool to have on some of those if a real tracking number or some kind of, like, you put a QR code and it goes to something that you can, you know, just have fun with or whatever. It's just like, yeah, just go to some website and be like, oh, cool, well, this leads to this random company or Silver Parasol Games or something like that. So that would have been a cool little touch. That one still doesn't have collision. This was a problem area, and I think it still is. So let's try it a little bit. If I jump, yeah. And I keep using the mask. Okay. I'm hoping that's blocked off. Yeah, but this corner shouldn't let you jump all the way up there. It gives you, like, LeBron James vertical Vince Carter mode. All right, I used to be able to go through the ceiling and jump through there, so I'm hoping that's actually been fixed. But that also could be a pretty nasty skip as well. First time that I played Bonnie Bowl, this entire wall had no collision. And I'm glad this was added, because if you jump through here, you can jump right to the end inhibitor and that area, and then you can do a mask toggle and a mask warp into the room. Well, you'll see it. You'll see in a little bit the final room of this area. All right, so a lot was fixed on this one. This is the area that had probably the most fixes, I think, per per area. I think you could probably still just run through this. Yeah, this needs collision. All right. So we're in the Bonnie Bowl area. We're over here. See the menu over here. You got ice cream. You can turn your head and view all that. Remember in the base game there used to be some LED screens and all that, and they would have like ice cream with pizza as a topping and stuff like that. That was kind of fun. Well, now you just have a bunch of static. The static you hear right now, there's a monitor above this, and you can see it from, I think, a far distance away, but there are some other monitors in the bowling area where you can also observe that as well. Yep, there's the static screen. That's a nice panel too. That's really nice. I see a little flicker there. We got a texture overlap right there, if you see it. I don't know if YouTube's gonna put enough quality to show that one actually, but if so, then cool. And I'm gonna skip one thing in this area. I mentioned that before, and I'm gonna come back to it because I can't get one ending without me skipping this right now. If you zoom out. Oh no, never mind. No, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Well, that puts a big monkey wrench into what I usually do. Usually I'd throw all of the mini Music Men over to camera 4. But now they're coming over here, so I gotta book it. Alright. A little circuitous route, and we have someone chasing us now, so we gotta be on the move a little bit here. And you'll have that throughout the entire level, is you'll have some of the, oh boy, some of the Music Men trying to hunt you down. I don't know why you're still here. Why are y'all still here? That's not cool at all. Well, let's try to avoid them. Yep, we're good. Go. Go. I messed up this sequence. Got another one chasing? Alright, bring it. Another one. Yep. Let's go to 4. Let's go to 4.
Are you there?
This is the one that I usually pull them to, so I'm hoping to go over there still. So we've already had 2 active, which is kind of crazy. That's not the norm. Ooh, maybe 3. We still have some active here. Oh, they're gone. Here. So this deactivates all the mini Music Men there on this line, alright? Note over here. Got a cool little display. Cassie doesn't say cool here. But those are now deactivated. Alright? The ones chasing us will still be active. It's just the ones that pertain to this area. So they will follow the voice wherever you send them, and I usually send them to 4. I just go over and deactivate them all. So we got some crazy lighting here. It looks really cool though. I don't know where the light source is coming from though. Alright. So we deactivated the bowling shoes node relating to the area at hand. I think the chasers have actually just given up, which is... oh, hello. Oh, no. Alright. That one took a dive at me. I see you. Alright, we'll come back to that. I'm being brutal right now. Good grief. Anyway. So there's nothing really over here, but we can explore some of this. See another leaned over staff bot without the lighting. Another cabinet that makes you think Joy of Creation, right? House of the Bear. I think you can still go through this a little bit, yeah. You can hide under the table, which is kind of cool, but you can go through this part, which that really should be fixed. You can jump on the railings. This can cause some problems too, because on some areas you can follow this path and then jump back here, for example, and this is a spot you can get stuck. So I have that, like, yeah, this is all known stuff, but yeah, you can fall through there and then it's just bad news, you know. So I want to fall outside here so I'm not getting myself stuck and soft locked. Sometimes you can again flip your AR mask and then that'll get you out of a pinch, but not always. So these ones should be safe, but the guards are still a slight problem. So you don't want to let them jump scare you. Unless you want to get jump scared. I mean, if you want to see a jump scare, then that's the way to do it. Alright. AR Golden Foxy. Pretty cool. This used to have a weird light source in it too, so that's actually, it's better. Maybe that's in the Freddy one. Let's see. Yeah, that right there. I don't know where that light source is coming from either, so there's some odd lighting things going on some of this, but see our buddy Freddy over here, looking as chipper as always. Shout out to Chipper and Sons. All right, So we've gotten one node so far. I haven't shown you the secret camera yet. We'll get to that last, actually. Alright. Going for the puzzle. So here, I'm going to fill this one up basically all the way. Some of these ones in Bonnie Bowl can be tough. The conduit puzzles. Okay. Yeah. It's a good way of solving that one. Now we're dealing with inhibitors, because now you can't take your mask off, so if I want to do anything at all, and I kind of want to do this sequentially, so I have to turn off this inhibitor, but I have to be careful because there's a guardian here, and a bunch of them over there. So I don't want to attract them, because they will follow you if you get too close, and they'll start to charge at you. You still can run faster, but if you fall asleep at the switch, then it's no good. You note here also, you have Cassie right there, the full model. Sometimes Cassie is not the full model Cassie, and we've seen that a few times. For example, when the inhibitor puzzle, or not the inhibitor puzzle, the inhibitor cutscene showed at the start of the cupcake shop, when you were standing on the roof looking down and all that, and you saw M.X.E.S rabbit turning on the inhibitor. Yeah, there was like a frame or two where you could see Cassie's arms. So I think to save on optimization, and so you wouldn't be looking through textures at times, there was just rendered arms instead of the whole model. But this is the whole model right here, which is kind of cool. All right. So you can send all of them to various places. I'm going to send them to 2.
Gregory, are you there?
Now I'm going to go around here. I'm going to try to get them over here. Just going to wait. I think they're far enough away now. I can just deactivate this cone node. You want to be far enough away that they're not going to turn around and get you. You can get jump scared, but that's going to deactivate them over there. We have a bunch of arcade machines over here. Some different from what we've seen before, or at least, you know, not the common ones or whatnot. And also you see that this auto saves after you deactivate each child node, so that's a useful thing. So if you deactivate a node, it'll auto save. You can start from there again. However, the ones that you deactivated will spawn like right with you, and you'll have this loud noise when you spawn in. So that's one interesting thing. It doesn't save them over there, it saves them right here where they were. Ends with stars, Mega Duel. Admire some of the artwork and all that on the cabinets. Again, Slappy Van Winkle, we've seen that. Ends with stars side of the cabinet. Streetscape Superstar, we've seen that. Here's Pill Spill. Kind of maybe reminiscent of Dr. Mario a little bit, but not quite. Not the same type of shape. Fredbear's Nom Nom Bits. Clown Town Throwdown. I would totally play that. CTT. Oh yeah, you've been playing CTT lately? Yeah. Clown Town Throwdown. Another Ziphilos. Yep. It's a lot of repeats on the cabinets. The side of Mega Duel. Pretty cool. Getting stuck in here. How'd I do that? Come on. Alright, now I gotta get momentum to get out of here. Ah! Alright, fine. Mask flip. We're good. Alright. Alright, that's a sticky spot right there. Milk Spoiled. Alright, that sounds like a fun game. Milk Spoiled. Not like a tasty game, though. That's some curdled cheese or something. It's just a wedge of cheese, really. Anyway. Let me know what type of game dynamics this should have for Milk Spoiled. Alright, we got Bomber again. Those are repeats. Oh yeah, I need to turn my DPI down. Let me do that so it's a little more smooth. People were complaining about that for a little bit. Worst Wild. Like a frozen deer right there. Looks like it. Alright, another wet floor bot. We got Moondrop. Claw machine, classic. We also have another Chica plush here. And here. Chica Guardians out here. Plush Trap Chaser. Alright, this is familiar as well. Might remember this from the security office in El Chips area, right? Quarter Eater. Like, what's the... Okay, it's just someone eating quarters. Alright. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's an arcade machine. Yes, it's a quarter eater, but... Alright, here. Deactivate. Mary. Sorry, Mary. Alright, there. Can I see the back of this cabinet? I don't think I can. Worst wild. Anyway, varying conditions and all that. Another ATM. You get the get your coins here from Fazzer Cash. I want my tokens. Give me some more Faz tokens, though. You can't use them on these games as far as I know. So that's something else. Maybe we'll use that on something else. We'll use the tokens on something else later down the road. And this right here, this is one of the things, too. Someone asked if I suggested some lines. Like, if Cassie steps on this, it'd be fun to note the weak condition of this area with a live wire right here in the middle of the floor. That's not really safe. Vision falling. So we got a bunch of arcade cabs here. A lot of work put into that. Button mash. I think we've seen this one before. We've seen a lot of this from the other arcades in the game, from the base game as well. So you go to the Superstar Arcade, you can tour around. There's some other ones. Dino Shock. But remember there was a marionette basketball game, basically? But look at this. There are the 3 yellow paint slashes here. Dino Shock. Very interesting. We've seen that in several places, but maybe not exactly that style, but pretty close. So it's basically Denny the dinosaur causing all these issues in the game. This one's different as well. Brawl in the Hall. Combat Kids. I see you. Cosmic Countdown. So we got a bunch of stuff over here. All right, cool. Good to go. This Guardian is not active, unfortunately, so we will not be jump scared here. Now, we have another inhibitor over there, so I have to lure these ones away. I'm going to do just that. In the camera station here. But I have to turn off the inhibitor to do that. One thing I'm going to do first is open this door up, because I'm going to send them around this area, and I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to go around if possible. Actually, no, I'm going to go the quick route. I'll play a little more risky here. This is another one where you have to manage the bluish-green fill. All right. Now. We're good. Yes. Now this door is open, so I can send them out here if I want, right at this edge. Oh, my mouse. Come on, mouse. Come on, mouse. Man. This mouse has seen better days. I've been gentle with this thing, too. Like, super gentle with this one. Good grief. Alright. Here. Cameras 1, 2, or 3. You don't want to send them to 1 because they're right there anyway. You can send them to 2, which is halfway, or send them to 3 all the way. I'm just going to send them to 3, alright? But I'm going to book it, so here.
Gregory, are you there?
I'm going to go under this door. You want to do this quickly if you do it. Now you can see him walk all the way around as well. Okay. Pretty cool. I think I have enough space. I'm gonna go. There can be stuck music men as well, mini music men. Big old bowling ball. Whose bowling ball is this? It's Roxy's. Cassie can rejoice. And there's some interesting things with the bowling balls here too. Like this one's been shattered. There's a bowling ball just sitting here in the wall. The Freddy one. And over here, you got this one right here that you can't move, but it's there. Used to be able to climb on this and jump from it, but you can't anymore. This is just kind of a decor right now. Then you have all the ones in the display right here. So here's the Roxy one. Alright, we got the Monty. We got the Chica. I think the Chica one looks kind of cool. Which one would you bowl with? We got the Freddy and another Freddy. But no Bonnie. A big old golden bowling pin. This reminds me of when I was in college. We used to have a students versus... actually, no, it wasn't students versus professors. It was department versus department. It was philosophy and religion, and so it was philosophy versus religion majors and all that. So yeah, we always brought home the gold pin. That was fun. Oh man. Yes. Can also, I think, still make this jump, but there's a little bit of a wedge jump. You can jump up and kind of tour on the wall a little bit if you want, but you might have to work a little bit for it. There's really nothing to explore over here, but anyway, you can make your trek around here a little bit, just kind of chill on the wall. Maybe that's been fixed, who knows? But yeah, I used to be able to do that. Can't get to the elevators, so unfortunately we cannot go back to the main atrium. And that's about it, so yep. I think that covers this area. And there's Bonnie. Yeah, balancing the bowling ball on his finger. So remember from the actual TV, the display, Bonnie would be spinning the bowling ball on his finger, so that was something interesting there. We're gonna have strong fingers for that. Shout out to endoskeletons. Alright, so we're good to go. These ones have stopped in place right here on their way to the area that I was sending them to. Alright. Deactivating Enoch over here. Sorry, Enoch. Alright. So this is this area right here. So we've deactivated 3 so far, and we have the 4th one to go. The 4th one's the one I'm going to skip for one functionality, alright? But first, I want to go around. Oh, hello. Well, we gotta avoid him too. Great. Come on. Anytime you see that, you want to just kind of get him out of the way. And there's another one. Where? Yeah, come over here. Yeah. Alright. I see you. I see you trying to get me. Alright, look at this food, though. Nasty pizza with a bunch of cockroaches on it. And... ugh. Nasty. Nasty. Do not eat the chowder. Hey, that is good recommendation. Alright, we have 2 things over here. Alright. We've got Elijah over here. So we've deactivated Enoch and Elijah in the same area. They have stuff in common. Interesting. Then over here, an item box. AR Golden Bonnie. This one I definitely want to see. A prototype? Huh. Interesting. And look at this. Deactivate the Bonnie Bull parent nodes. The comment here, I'm lonely. Huh. Could it be the mimic communicating with us? You remember how Helpy looks? H-E-L-P-I, Helpy? How there's like a blue-eyed and then like a almost like yellow-orange-eyed Helpy? Yeah. It's interesting. Some things seem to be malicious when Helpy's eyes are a specific color. Just a note, just an observation. You used to be able to get stuck like crazy back here. You used to be able to do some wall jumping over here too. Alright, keep going, keep going. Where? Oh, back there. I see you. Alright, now we're to the alley. I note that I looked out at the alley over there. I wanted to make sure that we had absolutely everything. I've deactivated all the wet floor bots up to this point, and that confirms it. So I'll show you in a second. Take a little tour out here. Nothing really of note back here, but you just see the edge of the alley. This was fixed up a whole lot. There's still one part where you can clip through one of the barricades, but very, very minor compared to what it was. Alright, right here. I'm going to bring him over to 1.
Gregory!
Get out of there
Are you
quickly.
there?
And get out of here. Alright. I'm going to wait a little bit, make sure they're out of the way, so they're not going to jump scare me. Are there any stragglers? Alright, seems pretty good. Got this bowling pin over here. What do we do with that? Deactivate it. This will be 4 of 4. Great. I notice over here. Let me actually tour over here. Yeah, let me tour over there first. We have some displays that we should look at in AR mode. Kind of trippy looking. One thing I wondered about too is this bot doesn't have any bump map collision or anything like that. Just an interesting observation. But with that, I'll go back to the alley in a second. But I want to show you this area over here. Someone following me or just making noise? I think you're just making noise. All bark, no bite. Bonnie, what happened to those eyes though? A little crazy there. Got Bonnie Bowl. Nothing up the corner in this screen. That's a little more creepy than the one that was in the Mega Pizzaplex by default. Oh hey, what's up? Thought you were gonna show up soon. So anyway, that was a cool little AR screen that you can see. Adds to the craziness of the decor. Over here you have some more bowling balls. These are all familiar. Keep those designs in mind, basically, alright? Alright, now, if you zoom out, there is a hidden camera in this one. You see that? I'm not going to do that right now, because I have something else that I want to get. I want to get the neutral ending, basically. As you can see, there's this one barricade that you can still clip through. The rest seem to be really good. But if you collect all 27... or you deactivate all 27 of the wet floor bots up to this point, here's a secret one. This one's Secret Billy. Alright, Secret Billy. I'm gonna deactivate Secret Billy. So note that this is down right now. Get that noise. That pops up. That's number 28 right there. Now we're back here. Ooh, big secret. The hair helpy plush. So cute. Glad you think that. So you have 4 wet floor bots surrounding Glamrock Bonnie. Note that the eyes are lit up. All right. Still lit up in here. But what if I deactivate some of these, alright? I do want to go through a run where I don't deactivate any of them. Can you notice any difference at all? Not tremendously. I'll go to that one last. Here. Watch Bonnie's eyes. Okay, still really nothing. And one more. For this one I want to be facing Bonnie. Yeah, there. Come here. Yes, you can still see Bonnie's eyes. So you've deactivated all the wet floor bots. Now Bonnie's eyes are not lit up. What do you make of that? Should we have shut these all down? What about this? You have a crime scene. Which bowling ball is this one? Doesn't look like anything I'm really familiar with, right? It's not quite this one. This one's the Roxy one. This one's the Monty one. You probably have expected to see a Monty one, unless Monty's trying to frame someone and Monty did it. Maybe Monty didn't do it. About this one. Not sure about this one, but that's not the one we see. This one's the Chica one. This one's the Freddy. This one we've seen as well. I think that's just kind of a generic. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Haven't seen any like face on that one, but this one's like a more solid purple. So I kind of wonder where's that from. So Bonnie had a mic here. It was like almost a camshaft or something like that. So Bonnie's been pretty well dismantled. There's another another microphone. Dual wielding the microphones. But anyway, that's just one interesting thing, that Bonnie's eyes glow until you deactivate all of them. So whether that's something or not, just let me know. Maybe that'll be something in a future game as well. Maybe the thing is too, maybe Bonnie's so broken that the best thing to do is deactivate them at this point. You're just going to have to completely re-engineer and that type of thing. But yeah, interesting to see Bonnie though. I'm glad that Bonnie was in this installment. I think people would have complained had they not been able to see Bonnie. So, but I do wish that I could repair Bonnie with my Faz wrench. That's the one thing that I said from the get-go when I saw this right here, and I was just like, man, I wish I could repair Glamrock Bonnie. But anyway, I don't believe that will be the case in this game. Maybe sometime in the future. Who knows? All right, here we go. Going back through the vent. So we've deactivated 32 wet floor bots, which is absolutely everyone that you can right now, unless there's some addition later on. And that's it. Collected that item box. We should be good to go. That was the 4th child node as well, so I'm going to go back. Just don't want to get jump scared at this point too, so just be careful. Lose a lot of, well, you lose a little bit of progress because the child node would have saved on number 4, but it's no fun to repeat that at this point. But aren't you glad the autosaves exist, because you don't have to go through and, you know, go through all of everything that you did before. So that's kind of cool. One thing I also thought would have been cool is some of these have scorekeepers. So basically for some of the lanes they had the scorekeeper, like these things, but they actually worked. So on the far end there is a scorekeeper that is on in AR mode. Let's see if it's here too. No, okay, because I mean it's not really connected. But over on the far end there is a scorekeeper, and that would have been cool had you been able to input some kind of console command to cause that door to go up as well. So, but you just have to collect all 27 up to the point of reaching this area. So 23 and then 4 in this area basically. 23 up to Bonnie Bowl and then 4 in Bonnie Bowl. And then the 28th one will appear in the corner. And then you deactivate the 28th in the corner, and then you can get to the back area with Glamrock Bonnie. So that's how to do it. But also remember, I will come back for the secret camera here, which means I've now deactivated 3 out of the 4, but I want to show you the neutral ending when I get there. Then I will go back and then get the secret camera in this one, then go to a save point. That's a key. If you collect, if you deactivate, sorry, I'm like collecting item boxes, and yeah, you deactivate the wet floor bots. It did used to say collect, actually. Like that was just a default for that action. But to deactivate all those wet floor bots, if you collect a bunch and then you don't hit a save point and then you get jump scared, they don't save up to that point. So a lot of people have been complaining about, like, oh, this must be a bug. And yeah, I deactivated all of that. I deactivated all of them, and yet this just doesn't work. You have to hit a save point to save your progress. So if you hit an auto save point, it will save which ones that you have up to that point. Otherwise, if you get jump scared in between, you have to recollect those, or deactivate. Redeactivate. Yeah, collect them all. And yes, you can get stuck in these too. So that's one thing. I saw Ambience play through, and I'm like, yeah, that's still a thing. That's edge case. Alright, so we have everything done here. Gonna go through this puzzle. Okay. This was kind of a cool puzzle. You know, one thing as well, I really do think there should be more puzzles as well. There was one playthrough that I went through and I had all the same puzzles, sort of for like the entire area, and I'm just like, yeah, this should be expanded. So I know they did add some, but I still think they should add a few more just to add to the variety. You could have a designated puzzle per area if you really wanted to cut down on the RNG. So for speedruns, that would actually be maybe fairly well received, but at the same time, it would get very predictable. But you have more puzzles, I think it would be kind of cool. All right. Anything else I want to show you over here? Let me think really quick because this is a very long area. I think that's pretty much got it. I will come back to this. So again, we have the "I'm lonely" statement here on the quests and all that. So whatever you want to make of that, you heard Gregory say that in the subliminal messages or whatever in the background on some of this. So all right, here. Which is also another thing. You don't have any messages from Bonnie when you're in AR mode in this. So you don't have any lines of dialogue to expect or to kind of pinpoint Bonnie's personality from this. So hopefully in future installments, if there are any, you'll get some of that. That would be very cool. You can also get stuck here. However, AR mask flip will fix that. You note also that the recharge stations, they're like damaged and all that, but remember that the animatronics in the base game had to recharge on the hour, every hour, and Moon would be sure to go through that, you know, to see that they were going to recharge. And that 1 hour that Freddy didn't recharge, you saw Freddy in that kind of like, you know, that pathetic state in the sign-up area for Roxy Raceway. Yeah. So this couldn't have been, like, either they improved the batteries or this couldn't have been a long time between Cassie showing up and the active animatronics still being there. So, like, this trip had to have been really quick, basically. So something had to have happened very quickly in conjunction with Cassie's visit, which is interesting. Or maybe that's just an oversight, I don't know. Got a staff bot here. Little Bonnie plush here. Alright, going through. One of the coolest fixes, right here, this whole thing. You see the side of this? There used to be the metal lattice that would go all the way through the wall, but I submitted a bug for that and they actually fixed it, so it ends at the pole, which is really cool. It didn't have to be fixed, but they definitely did fix that. Let's read this. Emergency generator, danger. High voltage machinery may start without warning. No entry to unauthorized personnel. No smoking or naked light. Minimum safety requirements. Overalls, head protection, ear defenders, and safety boots. All right, so Cassie is not equipped, I don't think. Well, I don't know. She's wearing enough, but she doesn't have the head protection or the ear defenders. Some kind of ear muff or something like that. There's a little split in the wall here you can see through. It's one little thing that could be fixed as well. You can go to this corner and see a little bit through this wooden area. Wooden plank in the corner. Used to be able to jump over here and explore. But not so fast. Alright, so this is Bonnie's green room. I know a lot of you are seeing this for the first time if you're just watching this walkthrough. Or I should say probably like, you know, 1 or 2 people. Because you've probably seen this area or another playthrough or something like that. Maybe you've played through yourself as well. But you remember this neon was also there in the water where we were at the bottom of that huge eternal ladder down to the log ride water area in between that and Roxy Raceway Part 1 where Monty was patrolling and getting like stuck against the wall swimming. Yeah, so that right there is what was in the water, and when you powered that conduit puzzle, part of the electricity went to the door and part went to the neon, which electrocuted Monty, which is interesting because I think the expectation for most at this point is that, you know, that was just retribution for Monty presumably attacking Bonnie. You note also that the pattern that Bonnie was kind of carved open. Looks like this. Like the AR Bonnie pinata. So whatever happened, the bowling ball hit, and whatever claws were, you know, in the mix or whatever, whether it was Mimic or Monty or Mimic Monty or, you know, whatever, Mimic inspired Monty. Regardless, this is what electrocuted Monty. So we'll see if Monty will appear at any other point in any other future installment, if there are any. But yeah, that's about it. And I'm just stating that I don't know if there will be or won't be. So I don't make those decisions. I don't. And then we have a Freddy statue here. You don't have anything really much of Bonnie, but Bonnie looks to have been a really good friend of Freddy, and Freddy really liked Bonnie. You remember when Freddy was recharging, when Vanny trotted by or galloped by after the Superstar Daycare? So you finish the Superstar Daycare in the base game, and then you go to the recharge station, and Freddy mentions that, oh, Gregory says, well, you know, who is that bunny lady or whatever, and then he's like, I'm not aware of any rabbits. Well, not anymore. And then also when you go up late in the game to Bonnie Bowl, and you can collect a CD at that front area where that the curtain is, he says, like, I don't come up here anymore. Or yeah, it's just he's down about it. So something happened to Bonnie even from the base game, and we kind of knew that already, but now we see the state that Bonnie's in. The interesting thing though is the deactivation of those eyes. That's kind of crazy. So I don't know. Did we do a good thing? Guess you can decide. Maybe we'll find out another installment. You and me, forever and ever. Love Freddy. And you've seen Forever and Ever painted on the walls. You wonder if Freddy had done that. I don't know. Maybe someone else who liked Freddy and liked Bonnie. A good friendship for sure. Watch there be a complete twist, and then Bonnie turns out to be like the worst villain ever. And it's like, we deactivated him because Bonnie was the worst villain ever. But I don't think that's any of the impression from this, and the animatronics don't seem to have, noted any of that at all, and especially not Freddy in the base game. All right, so here's the vent. Good job.
No more vents. Every single time I get in one, it breaks or something jumps out at me.
This is the shortest, safest path to Fazer Blast. If you
Never
prefer...
mind. I'll use the vent.
Alright, so she doesn't like the elevator shaft. That's fine. So now, if you duck, you're going to go through. This is how it looks in AR mode. And here's a bunch of stuff. You see the tallies? It doesn't exist in normal mode, but if you go here, you see them, right? 5, 2, space, 4, 4, 4, 5, space, 4. Then you have 4, 4, 5, space, 4, 4, space, 5, 5, space, 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 2, 4, 5, 5, space, 4. And space, 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 2, 4, 4, 4, 5. Space 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, space 2, 5. And they're also in pairs of 2, 4, and 5. So remember the balloons that I was mentioning before. Kind of want to go through and just kind of see what color code, how this would look like with that color coding and all that. So I'll come back to that though. Like, this would be a separate endeavor. But that's, yeah. Maybe, you know, I'm going to do that the next chapter because Fazer Blast is actually really short. So I'm going to do that in the next chapter. We'll go through those codes. But that's on the top of the area here. And it's interesting because this is a pretty key area. It's something we haven't seen before. Maybe there's a hidden message here that Bonnie's trying to give us. Maybe it's just random marks on the wall, like plush babies. Maybe it's number of victims. Maybe Bonnie actually is a villain. So anyway, let's go through to Fazer Blast, and I will come back to Bonnie Bowl for the secret ending and all that, okay? But we're going to get the regular, or the neutral ending first, but that'll be in Chapter 9, so let's go. I'm going to back into it. You'll probably see some arms. Phaser Blast. Ooh. Princess Quest 3. AR mode. Something happened. Note also over here. A little shadow. Remember from Help Wanted? That's interesting. Like a creepy wave. Alright. So that's a trip through Chapter 7 and Bonnie Bowl, and we will come back to that, and we'll resume from Chapter 8 next time. I've been through the inventory and what we've gotten there. Let me go through the wet floor bots really quick, just from memory. So, wet floor bots, we had one in the Bonnie Bowl security office to start out Chapter 7. Then we had, let's see. So there was one when we went to the arcade area and near the air hockey table. There's one there. There's one in between that door that roll-up door that I opened and the big old bowling ball child node, that area. There's one there. And then there's a fourth one basically right near the vending machine in that corner where we had to kind of kite and dodge that Guardian DJ Mini Music Man. They're all disheveled looking as well. Yeah, but those are the 4, and that totals 27. So we had 23 up until this chapter, and then we got 4 more. Right when you get number 27, that's when the 28th one in that corner, in the back corner of the alley, appears. That one, you deactivate that one. What was it? Secret Billy. That one you deactivate, and then it opens up that, it pulls up that door. You can go back to access where Glamrock Bonnie is. So those 4 back there as well, you deactivate those 4, which would be 32 total in the game. And then you see Glamrock Bonnie's eyes like delight. So it shuts Glamrock Bonnie down. It's interesting. I wonder what was going on there. I know there are some theories there. Maybe we'll find out more in a future installment if we have one. So that would be kind of cool. All right, so that's it. 27 plus 1 for the secret one, and then 4 in the back area. There used to be a really funny skip that you could do, and you can still mask out of one of the hallways and then kind of out into like a wooden floor, but you can just mask back into the Bonnie's green room. But anyway, we'll go over that wall code next time, and yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So hopefully you enjoyed this segment, and we've seen a pretty big secret. We'll come back for another one of the secrets in a future installment. So anyway, thanks for watching. Peace. God bless you. Have a great day. And yeah, till next time. We'll see Chapter 8 next time. Yeah.
Attention! This is Fredbear at Faz Command, reminding you that if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like, comment, and subscribe, ring the bell, do everything. It's complicated how YouTube makes things.